Happy 4th of July, guys! The Horror Man back on monthly theme Thursday with my review of Blowout. It's Independence Day and a brand new month, which means it's time for a brand new theme. Jason and I have decided to go with Final Guy July. All this month, we will be watching and reviewing on Thursdays horror movies with final guys. You know, it's funny. The horror genre is primarily known for featuring final girls. Sally, Laurie, Ginny, Nancy, Kirsty. Bit of a trend there, huh? The funny part is, in many cases, it's not only a final girl. Sometimes there are multiple survivors that include guys as well. But we, as viewers, for some reason, don't even consider that. Think about it. Laurie Strode is known as the final girl in Halloween. But Loomis survives too, and we follow a lot of his story. The irony is, there are those who don't consider a male character a final guy in a film if a female counterpart survives with him. But what's the difference? For me, there is a bigger meaning to the term final girl or final guy. It's the character we follow most throughout the film that isn't the villain. Basically, in the simplest terms, the main protagonist. This character will likely survive, but not always. And as I've stated, he or she might not necessarily be the only surviving character. Now, obviously, there are more final girls than final guys, especially in the horror genre. But, as Jason and I will highlight this month, there are some awesome final guys as well. In honor of today being the 4th of July, I wanted to go with something related. So my first pick for Final Guy July is Blowout. Blowout is a 1981 horror film, written and directed by Brian De Palma. It stars John Travolta as Jack Terry, our final guy, and Nancy Allen as Sally. Both had previously played in Carrie from De Palma, just 5 years prior. Nancy Allen, also having married Brian De Palma, was a regular in his films. John Lithgow, another De Palma regular, also stars in Blowout. John Travolta as Jack is an audio technician, or in other words, a sound guy for movies. His work mainly consists of slasher films, and he's currently working on one featuring college co-eds. I love that the opening scene of Blowout is a scene from that slasher. We obviously don't know that the first time we watch it. As we follow the point of view of a slasher maniac, we get some gratuitous nudity in the opening from those college co-eds. It's a great start to the film, and despite being a movie within a movie, it establishes the vibe of Blowout. Blowout itself becomes a slasher in its own respect, but we'll get to that. While recording nature sounds one night, Jack witnesses a car accident. The driver appeared to have lost control and drives over a bridge into a creek. Jack jumps in the water to help, but the driver is already dead. He is, however, able to save the female passenger, Sally, played by Nancy Allen. It turns out Jack got the whole thing on tape. Not video, obviously, but the audio. Listening to it over and over, he realizes he hears what he believes to be a gunshot prior to the accident. And when he learns the identity of the dead driver, it starts to make more sense. Now Jack, along with Sally, find themselves wrapped up in a dangerous and deadly conspiracy. That's just a piece of it, though. Meanwhile, there's a killer on the loose, being labeled as the Liberty Bell Strangler, murdering women in a series of sex killings. Could the two situations be linked in some way? Possibly. Regardless, no one believes Jack. The car wreck is treated as an accident, and no one, not the cops or reporters, are pushing for any more information, even though Jack is trying to offer it up. Our final guy is determined to solve the mystery and reveal the truth. All the while, he must protect Sally from the clutches of the Liberty Bell Strangler. Brian De Palma is a cinematic genius. He is a master of his craft. I've always felt that way. He's one of my all-time favorite movie directors. We do get his classic use of split screen in Blowout, by the way. And like many other directors, he just has an undeniable style. De Palma is a filmmaker from whom each movie I watch, I think, that's my favorite. And then I watch another and think, no, that's my favorite from him. Essentially, most of his films are worthy of being favorites. Blowout is no exception, and due to recency bias, if you were to ask me what my favorite De Palma film is right now, I'd say it's this one. John Travolta is fantastic in this. This might be his all-time greatest performance. No joke. Nancy Allen is talented and beautiful, as always. This is in no way concealed in the film, so it's not a spoiler. But John Lithgow is chilling as the killer. I like that the entire movie is leading up to the Liberty Day Jubilee. That's the Independence Day connection I was looking for. The third act features a patriotic parade and fireworks and American flags everywhere. Blowout is a great horror movie to watch on the 4th of July. I, of course, could have gone with Jaws. That too has a final guy, but everyone talks about that. Blowout, on the other hand, in my opinion, is highly underrated. By the way, I'm showing this MGM DVD in this video because I've always loved the simplicity of this cover. I do also own this on VHS, as well as the Criterion Collection Blu-ray release. But when I think of Blowout, this is the DVD that comes to mind. Physical media matters. Blowout was filmed on location in Philadelphia. I love the atmosphere, both in the gritty city setting, as well as when Jack is out in nature recording the sounds. It's cool getting so many glimpses of what it's like to be an audio technician, at least back in the early 80s. We, as viewers, get to be part of the filmmaking process, for a brief period anyway. As previously mentioned, we get some gratuitous nudity, and even some brief nudity from Nancy Allen, which isn't surprising. I think she's naked in most of her appearances in De Palma films. I guess the guy just liked showing off his wife. The kills in Blowout are pretty damn disturbing, but the most impactful thing of all is the ending. This is not just my opinion, but the ending of Blowout is universally considered to be one of the greatest endings in cinema history. Brian De Palma horror is on another level, and Blowout sure packs a punch. If you haven't seen it, hesitate no longer. This movie is amazing. But If you have, what are your thoughts on Blowout? Comment below and let me know. Also, please be sure to check out Jason's video to see which horror movie he reviews first for Final Guy July. Which Final Guy film will I review next? Check back next week to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.